Morning all. Yesterday we have discussed about the cardiac cycle. Before that we have discussed about the structures of the arteries, veins and blood capillaries. All we have discussed. Now single circulation and double circulation we are going to see now. In some animals single circulation will taking place. For example, fish. In fish the blood reaches to the heart, visits the heart once a circulation. Here these are the upper parts. Yes, upper parts of the body in cellular level, and these are the lower parts of the body in cellular level. And the blood enters into the heart once and then again leaves from the heart and circulates to the upper parts and again reaches to the lower parts. Like that it is happening. So excretion also happening in between, like that. So this is the single circulation. That means here the blood reaches the heart once in a circulation. That is here. If blood flows through heart only once for completing one circulation, it is called single circulation. Here observe, this is the heart, children, and the blood visits one's heart and leaves the heart, and one circulation completed again reaches to the heart. So for example, in fishes they are having gills, so there are no lungs. So oxidation process, oxygenated blood will not there here. So gills will do that here. So at the mouth part, those are having those gills. At that time the oxygenated blood will enters into the heart and again it reaches to the upper parts of the body, and again like this it will happens. The other parts of the body it will reach, and excretion will also taking place in this circulation only. All is possible. And coming to the human beings, yes, double circulation, and some animals also having kidneys also. Yes, kidneys. Purification of blood is possible by kidneys, and excretion is also with the help of kidneys. So here these are the kidneys, children. This is stomach and this is heart, and here these two are the two lungs, and this is head. Yes, this is excretion exponents. These are excretion items. So those are whatever rectum, anus and urethra, all are there here. So like that it is happening. So the circulation of blood will happens like this. In the case of human body, these are the two ventricles, and these are the two arteries, and these are the two lungs. Yes, through pulmonary arteries blood enters into the two lungs from right ventricle, and after oxidation the blood oxygenated blood enters into the left atrium and it reaches to the left ventricle. Then afterwards through aorta it reaches to the upper parts of the body and lower parts of the body, and then to the stomach oxygenated blood goes, and again from stomach glucose mixed blood. Yes, energy gained here. From nutrition we are getting from large intestine the energy molecules, that substances which are from stomach, large intestine, the nutrients mixed in the blood here. So like that from stomach. And why we need kidneys? For filtering that blood. So urine and other extra components we will see in fourth lesson, those will excrete out from the kidneys. So this is the double circulation. In this the blood reaches to the heart, blood visits to the heart two times for a circulation, because it enters to the lungs and again from lungs to the heart and to the body parts. So like that it is happening. That's why it is double circulation. This first onwards I am explaining you. I think you got this. So nothing to worry about this. If the blood flows through the heart twice for completing one circulation, it is called double circulation. Yes. Next we are going to see about lymphatic system, children. Here lymphatic system. Lymph means, it is a Latin word. Yes, lymph means water. We know that blood contains both solid materials and liquid materials, liquid particles. Solid and liquid are both are mixed in the blood, and blood from the heart to tissues, how it will be reached? With the help of arteries, and arteries to the blood capillaries, it reaches to the each and every individual cell. And cells also contain some nutrients, some liquid portion there exists inside of the cell. So in the tissue level the blood enters into the cell. Yes, the nutrients which are present in that blood will enters into the cell, and again from the cell to the deoxygenated blood outwards it will come to the vessels, blood vessels, which are veins. Yes, veins. So like that here we are getting deoxygenated blood back. Venules here we are calling. Fluid enters into the venules, then after enters into the tissue. From the tissue again deoxygenated blood enters into the venules with the, which in turn from the veins, again from veins to the heart it will reach. So here the fluid, yes, liquid without any solids, only fluid particles are there in that. That is called as lymph. Blood contains both solid particles and liquid particles. Liquid and solid materials blood contains. Coming to the lymph, it contains only liquid. That means here tissue fluid is lymph present in the tissues. I think you got this children. Tissue fluid is lymph present in the tissues. The liquid portion after formation of blood clot is called serum. That we will discuss in further class. Next we will discuss, not in further class. Next we are going to see in that blood clotting, we are going to see coagulation of blood. This serum I will explain you. Don't worry about this. Next in that lymphatic system we are going to see now. Here I think you got an idea about lymph. What is lymph? It is the liquid portion of the blood. And the tissue fluid is also called as lymph. Yes, lymph only present in the tissues. You know, from 9th class onwards we are studying. In the tissues we have a fluid. Yes, that fluid is the lymph present in the blood. So tissue fluid is also a lymph type. So your lymph is a vital link between the blood and tissues. It connects the blood and tissues. It parallels that. It is a link, vital link between the blood and tissues, by which essential substances pass from blood to the cells. So it is the intermediate which communicates both blood and cells. Yes, cells are having only liquid portion. Lymph contains only liquid portion. Inside of the tissue cells, inside of the tissues and cells we have a liquid tissue fluid, and outside of that blood contains both liquid and solid particles. These liquid particles will communicate both bloodstream and the cellular level tissue fluid. So the lymphatic system is the most important system, and which is parallel system to venous system. That means venules, which contains venules which collect tissue fluid from the tissues. So lymphatic system collects. Venous system means here veins are carrying, venules are carrying that tissue fluid in the form of lymph. Yes, only fluid particles will enter out from the cells. So at that time those lymph will mixes with that bloodstream again. Yes, which contains both solids and liquid portion. In that these excess of tissue fluid which comes out from the tissues, that is tissue fluid, which mixes in that bloodstream in venous system. So lymphatic system is a parallel system to venous system. So how it works means the muscles which are attached to the skeleton, so those are skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles acts as pumps here. So these are called as lymph vessels. Lymph vessels and the blood flowing in veins towards the heart afterwards. And these are pushing, lymph following in lymphatic vessels. So those will carry this, and those are connected to the veins towards the heart. Here lymphatic vessels also like veins only. These are also we are calling as veins only. And lymphatic vessels towards the blood, those are carrying towards the blood, towards the heart. The blood, those are carrying the blood following in veins towards the heart. Lymphatic vessels we are calling. Here skeletal muscles acts like pumps when they contract and help in pushing the lymph towards the heart. So how these lymphatic vessels work and how the lymph circulation taking place in higher classes you are going to read further. Up to here only we need. Don't worry about this. Leave about this. Just get an idea and leave. And coming to the evaluation, afterwards we will discuss how the transportation taking place in different types of animals. We will see this. So afterwards we will see. First you should understand BP. And in your regular life, children, in your regular life you always observe this one. I think you know about this all, about this sphygmomanometer also you know. Every time while we are visiting the doctor, they will check up first BP, weight and BP they will check up. So I think you all visited doctor once in a while, at least once you visited, I think, and you observed this one. Yes, BP. So what is this BP? Previous I have explained you children about cardiac cycle. In that about lub-dub sounds. When lub-dub sounds will come? Lub sound. While ventricles in contrast, at that time lub sound will come. While the blood enters into the ventricles, dub sound will come. So at this time the pressure, the force exerted by the heart. So the force exerted by the heart into that vessels. So that blood stream, the blood forcibly enters, forcibly throwing out from the heart through arteries, and again there is a drop in pressure once. While the ventricles, while the heart throwing blood, yes, while the heart pumping blood, supplying blood through arteries, so much of contraction is there in the ventricles. And again the blood, deoxygenated blood enters into the ventricles. At that time the ventricles are in relaxed position while refilling. At that time low pressure, low force on that bloodstream we are getting. On each and every nerve and each and every vessels, low force will be there from the heart. Yes, while the contraction forcing the blood. Yes, the force is provided by the heart and is at its highest when the ventricle contract, and it is lowest when the ventricle, while the ventricle refill with blood, while the ventricles refill with blood for the next beat. So here likewise we are getting two types of pressures, one highest pressure and one lowest pressure. So it should be in limit. A normal human being should have 120/80, 120 maximum pressure. While contract of ventricles we should have 120 mm of Hg. Yes, pressure means force per unit area, that we know. Here about that atmospheric pressure also you know. Yes, pressure exerted by the air. Here pressure exerted by the oxygenated blood, oxygen on that blood. Yes, 120 forcibly the blood leaving from the heart and reaches to the body parts. So 120 mm should be the force time, and at relaxed time it should be 80 mm. So 122 readings we need to consider for this. So for this, sphygmomanometer is useful for checking BP and always measured in the upper arm artery. Always we should measure in that upper arm artery. BP varies throughout the body. So the standard blood pressure is 120 mm by 80 mm of Hg. So like that we need to understand. Yes, while engaging such as resting, walking and running, different times we can get different readings. Here we should understand the two types of readings we need to know. Yes, highest and lowest. When highest, while the ventricles are contract, at that time we are getting that 120, and after that refilling time, at that time next beat, blood for next beat, at that time lower pressure we have. So that's why 80 mm. This is the normal human being BP, 120/80. Next we will go through with coagulation of blood. I think you observed, if we got any injury, At that time the wound will flow as blood, and after 3 to 6 minutes it will be like a clot. Yes, reddish color clot will there on that cuts. So it should be there, or else the blood will flow out continuously and there is a serious case will occur. Yes, profusely the blood will bleeds out means what will happens? All that blood will comes out and we will go to die at that time. Blood flows out of the wound will not stop means we cannot get any relief from that, and there is a chance to severe. Yes, if animals survive, how they can survive? They are getting so much of severe injuries, so there is a possibility of clotting. This is due to the platelets. You know all, I think you listened about these platelets. Yes, platelets should be much enough. Yes, sufficient in our body. The platelets release an enzyme called thrombokinase. Thrombokinase is the enzyme which is releasing by platelets. Due to that only we are getting, after 3 to 6 minutes of injury we will get a blood clot there. Yes, reddish solid material will form. So that is about that we have observed in previous serum we got there, lymph and blood, about that we have discussed. At that time we got serum blood. So the yellowish straw colored fluid portion after formation of this clot, yellowish straw colored fluid portion, that is called as serum. After formation of blood clot, that yellowish color straw colored fluid portion is called serum. So here one relation is we need to understand chemical reaction taking place while blood coagulation or blood clotting. Platelets release an enzyme called thrombokinase which acts on prothrombin. Another substance present in the blood, prothrombin, reacts with thrombokinase. Thrombin will release. A third substance, thrombin will release, and thrombin reacts with fibrinogen, which are fibers in the blood, fibrinogen. So it acts on fibrinogen, thrombin acts on fibrinogen, will get insoluble fibrin will get. So due to these fibrin fibers which are attached to the edges of the wound will get clotting. Due to this fibrin only we are getting clots. And vitamin K is most probably important for this coagulation of blood. In first lesson we have discussed about vitamins and all. So vitamin K is most probably important for blood coagulation. Platelets and vitamin K, these two are important for coagulation of blood. Any person having less platelets, so after wound happens, yes, after injury happens, from the wound the blood will not clot till after 6 minutes also it will not clot. But in some people, some cases, vitamin K deficiency, due to that also after 3 to 6 minutes also it will not be clot. So that is the deficiency due to the vitamin K. So platelets or not there means no clotting, and vitamin K deficiency, due to that also we are not getting that clots. So because of this genetic disorder, so actually this is due to the vitamin K deficiency is due to the genetic disorder, or due to that may not coagulate the blood. This type of disorder is also called as hemophilia. This is the disorder we can commonly observe in children who have born from marriages between very close relatives. Yes, very close relatives. Vitamin K deficiency actually comes due to the genetic disorders. So the marriages between very close relatives may cause this problem in children. Yes, thalassemia is an inherited disorder which is also related to that blood. So these vitamin K deficiencies and all due to that marriages between very close relatives. So we need to understand about this. So for that they have given in annexure. Afterwards we will see that. Yes, afterwards we will see. And next we will go through with the evaluation of transport circulatory system. transport or circulatory system. Evaluation of transport system in different types of organisms, unicellular and multicellular organisms. In the starting introduction class only I have told you children about this. Yes, here amoeba and hydra, all the materials transported to the throughout the body, transported throughout the body, like diffusion and osmosis process. How those are possible without heart? Evolution of this circulation, how it will happen in some different organisms they have given here, how it is taking place in that all different organisms we will see in the next class, and we will go through with how the materials transport within the plants. Within the plants we will observe. This is also important to understand how the transportation taking place in the plants. That also we will understand.